Do you know when and how to use absolute, relative, and mixed cell referencing in Excel? Hello everyone, Shab is back with another interesting Excel tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how you can use absolute, relative, and mixed cell referencing in Excel. If it's the first time you're watching my videos, please hit the subscribe button to get the notification for the new upcoming videos. Stay tuned. Consider that we have this sample data in our Excel sheet. In this example, we have sales information for different categories in different months of the year. What we are asked to do is to calculate the total sale for whole the year for each of these categories. So I'm selecting this cell and start writing an equal sign. Then I have to use the sum operation to calculate some of the values. Before writing the function, here on the left hand side of formula bar, you can see some functions. If I click on sum, it adds the function into the cell, and based on our data values suggests to sum the values D5 to I5, which is exactly what we want. If the suggestion is not the same as what we are looking for, we can easily change it. Press on OK. Now, if I want to have the same formula for the next rows, I need to select this cell. And here, on this right bottom corner, double click, and boom! It copies the same formula to calculate the sum of the related cells. For example, you can see if I click on the cell J7, on the formula bar it shows it adds D7 to I7. And if I click on the cell J8, the formula shows it adds D8 to I8. This is called relative referencing because the reference cells are moving down as the formula moves down. Consider that the business now asks for the percentage or share of each category. To calculate, first we need to understand what the total sale for all of them is. So again, if I click on this cell, insert an equal sign, and press on the sum operator beside the formula bar, Excel writes a sum formula and recognizes the values above it as what should be added. So I press on enter to have the total sales. Now if I want to calculate the percentage for the first category, I need to go to this cell, insert an equal sign, then J5 for the category value, and slash as the division sign, then J9 for the total value. You can see we have the share value and I need just to change the type to percentage. The challenge is here. My question from you is, what do you think if I double click on the corner of this cell? Does Excel copy the same formula for other categories? Do you think it's working? Let's try. Oops, we get error on other cells. But why? Let's click inside one of these cells, for example this one, and have a look at the formula. You can see here it automatically shifted the cells one down and divided J6 by J10. You can easily see the J10 cell is empty, and so it couldn't get the right data to divide J6 by that. What we have to do is to fix the total value for all rows. This is when we are using absolute referencing. So let's click on this first formula, and here on the formula bar, we need to add $sign before the column and row, or easily use the F4 shortcut key. This shortcut automatically puts the $sign before the column and the row. Before going to the next part, it's worthwhile to give you a quick tip. If I press F4 for one time, it puts the $sign before both the column and the row. If I press it two times, it puts the $sign only before the row. If I press F4 three times, it puts the $sign only before the column. And if I press F4 for four times, it removes the $sign before both the column and row, and goes back to the relative referencing. Mixed referencing is when we are using a combination of relative and absolute referencing. It means we are only using $sign before the column or the row. Continue watching, and I'm going to talk about the mixed referencing in a second, and will show you why you may need it. So in this case, if I press enter and double click on the corner, or drag this corner and move it down to the last row, you can see the percentages for these different categories. If I click on one of these cells like this one, you can see it correctly divides the sale value of this category by the total sales, which is an absolute reference. Now let's describe what mixed referencing is. Consider now we need to calculate the percentage of each month for each product category to find out which months have the highest or lowest rate of sales. In this example, I just copied this main part of our table and paste it here. And let's delete these values because we want to calculate the percentages. As an example, it means divide this computer sales in January by the total computer sales. Let's test it out. First, I insert an equal sign and then D5, which is a relative reference, and then divide by J5, which we need to press F4 to get its absolute value. Let's change the format of all of these cells to percentage. Now, let's drag the corner of this cell to the right end. Cool! It seems everything worked perfect. But now I want to grab these cells and drag them down to copy the formula for the next categories. But here you can see the values are not correct. For example, if you sum the percentages for audio category, you can see it's 184%, which is incorrect. And each row should have the total percentage of 100. There is something wrong here, and we cannot report these numbers. So, what's the solution? For example, if I click on this I14 cell, you can see it divides the cell I6 to J5. But we want to divide it by J6, which is the correct total for audio category. Why this happened? Because we fixed the values in this cell and used as an absolute reference. So, we need to think about which part of this fixed reference should be moved. Correct, we need to move the row. To fix, click on this first cell for January. Here in the formula bar, click on this fixed part. As you remember, we already pressed F4 for one time to apply this absolute value. Now we need to press it for another two times to only fix the column, not the row. I drag this to the right. Everything looks good for computer category. And now select all these values and drag them to the down. That's amazing! Now all the percentages looks correct, and some of the percentages for all lines are now equal to 100%. To do another testing, I choose this cell, and you can see it divides this value to the total sum of the same category. So everything is fine. This is how you can use absolute, relative, and mixed referencing in Excel.
If you like this video, don't forget to share it and give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to the channel to get the notification for the new upcoming videos. Have a good one, all Excel lovers.